Hey friends, today I'm going to do a quick video on the body wash that I make. I've worked for probably 2 or 3 years, isn't that sad, trying to get the perfect body wash recipe. I wanted something that, cleaned well, that left my skin feeling clean, also was moisturizing, didn't leave my skin dry, especially in the winter months when things tend to be a little bit drier in the house anyway. I wanted something that gave me like a really nice bubbly suds that was really pleasant and, like nice wake up in the morning. And above all, something that would actually help to keep me above the wellness line. I wanted something that was free of toxins and was actually going to be kind of beneficial. So during that process of coming up with the perfect recipe, there were some epic fails along the way, and my poor husband was the guinea pig to a couple of them, and it was bad. They were horrible. I will not even lie to you. And I think it kind of put him off of the idea of my DIY body wash. But we watched the movie Stink, which if you haven't seen it, it's a fantastic movie. It's about a single dad who went on this quest to find out what Sophie woke up from her nap. You have to pardon her. She's a little bit, she's got the zoomies. She's a little excited. Anyway, Stink. This single dad was trying to figure out why his daughter's pajamas from, I think it was Justice, smelled weird when they opened the package. And apparently they cover them in fragrance. And so the whole movie is about fragrance in our personal care products, in household cleaners, and in everything, the artificial synthetic fragrance and what that really means. And basically what it comes down to is companies can use the concept of proprietary information, intellectual property, and hide any chemical they want to under the guise of fragrance in the ingredient list. So even if you read the ingredient list, you're like, oh, this doesn't have anything bad in it. If it has fragrance, chances are there's something in there you probably don't want to be slathering all over your body. So after we watched that, my husband was a little more open to the idea of trying my new body wash, which is awesome. He's the best. He humors me so much. It's insane. So he had been using a brand that was a citrus scent. And so I told him, I'm like, I'm sure that I can come up with something, citrusy, orangey. I know I can. Young Living has Citrus Fresh. I mean, come on, it's a no-brainer. But so these are the products. I'm going to tip this down real quick, and you can see these are the ingredients that I'm going to be using in the body wash. And I will post a recipe on the blog and share the exact amounts and everything. So the first thing that we want to do, and I'm going to tip this down again so you can see what I'm doing. The first thing that we want to do is we want to combine our mango butter and our apricot kernel oil. Now, if you don't have apricot kernel, you can pretty much use any oil that you like that provides you with the kind of skin moisturizing support that you personally need for your skin. You just have to keep in mind that it's a liquid oil and it stays liquid. So if you try to use coconut oil that gets solid at room temperature, it might gunk things up and be an issue. Same thing with the mango butter. Mango butter is actually a pretty pliable butter. Like cocoa butter is really hard. It's very hard. And shea butter tends to be a little bit less solid at room temperature than mango butter. So you just have to play with the proportions of the oil to the butter to get it to be the consistency you want. And then I always use some vitamin E oil. So I have a tablespoon of mango butter, a tablespoon of apricot kernel oil, and a tablespoon of vitamin E oil, and I have melted those slowly in the microwave. I put it at a low setting. You can also do it over a double boiler if you want to go old school. If you don't have a microwave, that's perfectly fine as well. And now I'm going to add, this is what I finally came down to, is the secret ingredient is guar gum. And this is food grade guar gum. You might see guar gum in in ingredients in food products and think, you know, that sounds kind of terrifying. But actually, it's just a thickener. It's used to thicken food products and body care products, healthcare product, or care products. Oh my God, it's so windy here today, and the cat is chasing leaves blowing around on the patio through the patio window. That is hilarious. She entertains me to no end, honestly. Okay, so I'm just going to sprinkle this over the top. Sorry about that. Sprinkle this over the top a little bit. And the idea is that we want to get this teaspoon in here and get it to dissolve into the oil, because it will dissolve. It'll get sort of almost a muddy look. We want to get all the little bits dissolved in there so that it distributes evenly throughout your product. So we're just going to use our whisk and get that all incorporated. I think we got it. That's why I like the glass bowl, because it lets the light in and you can really see if you have everything dissolved in there. Set aside. All right, there we go. The next ingredient is vegetable glycerin. This is what gives your body wash or any personal care product sudsiness. So it creates the suds and makes the frothy suds. So we're going to put 2 teaspoons of that in here and get all of that in there. We'll incorporate that, get that all mixed in. And then comes our soap. I have had the best luck with Dr. Bronner's Castile. I use this, it's a hemp baby, it's unscented. So Dr. Bronner's has a bunch of different scents. There's like a rose and an almond, a peppermint, and lavender. And I prefer to use my own essential oils to create my scent and not use the scented oils, because I like to know exactly where my oils are coming from. So we're going to do 2/3 of a cup. So I have a 1/3 cup measure. We're going to put 2 of these in here. There we go. And again, put the lid on because I spill. So, oh my gosh, she is so funny. All right, so we keep mixing that, and there we go. We have it all mixed up. Now the next step is to incorporate the water. And after you put the soap in, you want to try to be gentle with your mixing. You can see how the bubbles are starting to form. Obviously, it's soap, so you don't want to make a big bubbly mess. So try to not incorporate too much air into this. So we're going to put just a half cup of distilled water. I always use distilled water in my products. And now this is the panic point where I always think I did something wrong because it's just so thin. Look how watery it is. It's so thin. Oh my gosh, maybe I should put more guar gum in. Is it going to stay this thin? It will actually, as the guar gum develops and incorporates, it will actually set up. This will set up to a really nice body wash texture. I've also found that certain essential oils will cause your product to thicken as well. So I used some lavender, added some lavender to a shampoo one time, and I decanted some of it, mixed it in, and it was so thick I had to end up decanting the entire remainder of the bottle to get it to a consistency that I could actually use. So here we have, I'm going to put in Citrus Fresh. I'm going to put, I think that was about 10. We'll do 10 drops of Citrus Fresh, because even though he told me just orange, I smelled his and it definitely doesn't have just orange. And I looked at the ingredients, which weren't really helpful because it just said fragrance, but okay. And that was 20 drops of orange. So we want this really orangey. Oh, it smells good. And the Citrus Fresh just gives it a little bit of depth to the orange. It really does have a very, very orange scent, but it just gives it a little bit of depth with some other citrus oils included in there in that blend. It's a really nice blend, and it's great for in the diffuser. If you're ever out of purification, it's fantastic to get rid of funky smells in the air. See how much that's thickened up already? It just needs a little bit of time to thicken up, and it will eventually be the consistency you want. Now it can actually become too thick, and if that happens, you add a few extra tablespoons of distilled water, just like 1 tablespoon at a time, just a little bit at a time. Let it develop and see. You know, I use a pump dispenser. We use pump dispensers in the shower. So your dispenser might be better, might work well with a thicker consistency, or maybe you want something thinner. That honestly is personal preference. But this is actually, it's thickening up pretty nicely, I have to say. I think that's going to be about right. I will let this sit for a little bit longer, and then I will put it into this mason jar to store. I love mason jars because you can sterilize all the pieces and parts. I mean, they're meant to be sterilized for canning purposes. So these have been sterilized, so they're ready to store my product. And then I can just use it as, you know, add it to the soap dispenser as needed. So that's the body wash. It's super awesome. It's like, I'm so excited about the consistency, and it makes the nicest sudsy, one of those poofs. We use those back poofs, just a huge sudsy poof in the shower. It's fantastic. So there you have it. I am going to include a recipe card down below, or the recipe down below in the blog post, so you can get the recipe. 12 minutes to make, literally 12 minutes to make body wash. Now I did, you know, it took me a couple minutes with the microwave before, but literally 12 minutes, amazing body wash. Any scent you want, any Young Living essential oil scent that you want to put in, you can scent it for yourself. Safe enough to use for the kids. Baby Castile. It's fantastic. And I haven't done the cost analysis, but I would bet it's way cheaper than anything you could buy at a store. So there you go. Thanks.